and welcome to Accountex 2017. I'm Robert Lovell, I'm the Managing Editor of AccountingWEB, and I'm joined today by two VAT experts. On my left I have Rhona Graham.
Hi Rob.
Hi there, you're from Essentia Global Services, welcome, and thanks for joining us today. And we also have Vaughn Chown, who is Managing Partner at Gabelle, which is a business unit within Accountex.
Yep.
So welcome to you as well, Vaughn.
Thank you very much. Well, yeah.
Right, well today we're going to be talking about VAT and property, and we've asked both of our guests today to come up with their top three VAT property tips. So if we could start with you, Rhona, what are your top three?
VAT in 3 easy lessons, not an easy thing to do. But my top three on property are things that come across my desk very regularly on a daily or if not weekly basis. First one, option to tax. Please make sure that if you've done this, you keep all of the documentation, anything that you've had back from HM Revenue and Customs. Don't hide it away where nobody knows. You might need it in 10 years' time, you might need it in 20 years' time. So it needs to go beyond just a tucked away file. People need to know where that is and be able to access it. Really important. Second one?
Second one, yeah.
Second tip is making sure that you get charged the right rate of VAT on construction services. An awful lot of contractors out there assume that 20% is applicable to everything, and it's not. There are still some things out there where the 0% rate or the 5% rate are available, and that can be very beneficial if those things are available to you. So make sure you get those to the fullest extent possible.
Great. Okay. And the third and final one for you?
And my third and final one, if you're acquiring a tenanted commercial property, could that be a transfer of a going concern? And if it could, there are certain things that you must do there at certain time critical points in the process. And that can be extremely important. Not only can it save you cash flow, but it might save you a chunk of stamp duty as well.
That's great advice. Any thoughts on that from both of you on those 3 points?
I think one of my tips would be very similar to Rhona's in that where you have a transfer of a going concern and property is involved in that transfer of a going concern, it not only depends on whether the property is fully tenanted, it may be a transfer of a going concern if it's only partly tenanted. And that seems to be missed quite a bit. And as Rhona was saying, if you miss that position, you could miss the opportunity to have goods or supplies which are outside the scope of VAT with all your VAT recovery. And that can save a tremendous amount of cash flow. My second tip is really to look at the conversions of property. Where you convert a property from commercial to residential, then essentially you can obtain VAT at 5%. A massive saving, particularly for overseas investors who probably know nothing about VAT, have come over here, they've dealt with somebody to acquire a property, think they're going to be charged 20% VAT, and in fact it should be 5% VAT. That comes across my desk quite a lot. The other thing also is conversions of properties, with conversions of property from commercial to residential, is which way do you divide a property up? Do you divide it vertically or do you divide it horizontally? That can make a terrific difference to the amount of VAT that's charged and whether or not you can claim the VAT back, as to whether the eventual sale of the residential unit or long lease in excess of 21 years can be zero rated. And that, either of those, you can incur VAT and claim it all back. And they're my top three tips.
Thank you very much, Vaughn.
You're very welcome.
And anything you'd want to sort of add to that?
I think the point on how you divide a building is an extremely important one. I've had a couple of really interesting cases on that. And one of the difficulties is that the legislation only talks about part of a building, but it doesn't define what part means. So as you rightly say, do you divide it that way? Do you divide it that way? Or is there some other way of doing it? And HMRC themselves are not always clear on that point, so it's really worth looking at that in some detail.
I have to say that we operate a helpline in Gabelle, and that's got to be one of the most frequent questions that's asked as to whether or not we do it, convert it one way or the other, as to how much VAT is going to be accounted for and charged on that particular property. And what we try to do and instill in our clients is come to us at the early stages of planning. If you come to us at planning, we can liaise with the planners and we can say what you're going to get back and how you're not going to get it, or if you're going to get it back, whether you will get it back, how much you'll get back, whether you can sell it at zero rated, claim the VAT back, etc., etc. But we can't do it once the planning is already in place. So it's essential to look at property transactions very, very early
Early
on.
as possible.
Early. And that's the same with transfers of going concerns, which you mentioned at the very start.
Indeed.
The transfers of going concerns, if you haven't got the paperwork, you're not going to be able to transfer it without VAT and outside the scope
Please
of
don't
that.
ask me at the 11th hour, and certainly don't ask me at the 13th hour,
No.
because then it's too late.
Yeah. It's crucial on a property transaction where you're going to treat it as a transfer of a going concern that the option to tax is elected and exercised at the correct time. People often think they have a 30-day window to do it. They don't. There's no 30-day window. So you have to do it before the transaction
And I see
takes
that
place.
being missed very
You see it,
frequently, and
you see it
it's
missed
too late
time
for
and
us to
time
help.
again. So it's one of those issues where property is usually everything's thought about on property. Two things are missed: VAT and SDLT. They are the two taxes that are put on the back burner. And now, with
And
VAT rates at
sometimes
20%,
they're the most expensive if you
most
get it wrong.
expensive to put it right.
Absolutely.
Most expensive.
If indeed you can put it right.
If you can, absolutely right. Absolutely right. So, my top 3 tips.
Fantastic. Well, thank you both very much. Thank you, Rhona. Thank you, Vaughn. You're
very welcome.
It's great to have your advice and tips there. And enjoy the rest of the show. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you very much. Thank you.